In Acts chapter 20, the Apostle Paul, he's on his way up to Jerusalem. And as he's making the journey up to Jerusalem, he's stopping at some churches and visiting believers that he knows. He stops and meets with the elders of the church in Ephesus. And everybody knows that if Paul goes up to Jerusalem, he's likely to be arrested and imprisoned and possibly even killed. And they're warning him and they're begging him not to go. There's even a prophet in Acts chapter 20 who gives a prophecy about Paul being arrested and bound in Jerusalem. So everybody's warning Paul and begging him, don't go to Jerusalem. And then Acts chapter 20, verse 24, Paul finally says, none of these things move me, nor do I count my life dear to myself. And he goes on, but Paul says, these threats against me, they don't move me because I don't count my life dear to myself. So what if they kill me? Elsewhere, Paul says, for me to live is Christ and to die is gain. So if they kill me at Jerusalem, it's gain. I go to be with the Lord. And again, we have to ask ourselves, do I count my life dear to myself? Do I count my job dear to myself? Do I count my comfort, my security dear to myself? Do I count my reputation dear to myself? Do I count my plans dear to myself to the point that I'm not willing to put those things at risk for the sake of God or His Word? It's challenging to consider. Remember, Jesus said, whoever tries to keep his life will lose it. But whoever is willing to lose his life for my sake will find it. Am I trying to keep my life? Or am I willing to lose my life for Christ? Now look at their answer in verse 16. Again, Nebuchadnezzar says basically, I'll give you one more chance. I'm going to have the symphony play the tune one more time. And if you bow down, you're free to go. If you don't, I'm going to cast you in the fiery furnace. So here's one more chance. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego, verse 16, answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. In other words, hey, we don't need to reconsider our answer. Our answer isn't going to change. And so verse 17 is one of the most profound statements of faith in God in all of the Bible. Look at what they say. If that is the case, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and He will deliver us from your hand, O king. But if not, let it be known to you, O king, that we do not serve your gods, nor will we worship the gold image which you have set up. I want you to notice a few things about their answer here. First of all, they are respectful to the king, but they're firm. They're very clear, but they're very respectful. You know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego, they're respectful in the way that they're answering the king here. And if we disobey an order, whether that's from the government or an employer or from school, we should be respectful but firm in our answer to them. Being respectful is kind of out of style in our culture, isn't it? Especially when you are disagreeing with someone. Notice also that they say, our God is able to deliver us. Nebuchadnezzar asked the question, who is the God that will deliver you from my hands? And the answer is, our God is able to deliver us. And He can deliver us if He chooses. They say, but if He doesn't, we're still not going to serve your gods or worship your gold image. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abed-Nego, they place their future and their lives in the hand of God. And they say, whatever God wills for us, we're trusting Him. We're not going to worship that image, whether He delivers us or not. We're not going to worship that image and violate God's word and God's command. And He's able to deliver us. And if he wants to deliver us, he will deliver us. But if he doesn't deliver us, that's fine too. This is the same attitude that Jesus had in Gethsemane, right? As he prayed, Father, if it's your will, take this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will be done, but your will be done. If there's any way other than the cross, then please take this cup from me. I don't really want to go to the cross, so if there's another way, I'd like door number 2. But if not my will, but your will be done. If it wasn't God's will to deliver them from the fiery furnace, they would accept that. And they would glorify God. They were fully resigned to the will of God. This is what walking by faith looks like. I'm trusting the Lord. I've expressed to him what my desire is, what my will is, but I know that quite often my will does not line up with God's will. And I trust that God knows best. And I want my life to glorify him. And I want my life to count for him. And so if he thinks it's better for it to go a different way, then thy will be done. Just walking by faith.